right, here we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rake and Ride Town Hall at North Carolina Center for Automotive Research. I'm Brian Russell, League Director, joined by several members of the League staff to give you all an overview of what we're doing this weekend that we've maybe incorrectly titled a preseason event because we are actually in the regular season, but it is early enough in the season. The things we do just to come together early, get together, ride, do some trail work. The things we've started doing in this league just to kind of break the seal on the season and like I said, come together and do some of the things we do just earlier than normal. Standard format for tonight. We'll spend maybe 15 minutes or so giving everyone an overview of the weekend, kind of a day by day, activity by activity overview. Throughout, we'll take your questions. Go ahead and put those in the chat window or raise your electronic hand. That's fine throughout, and we will certainly pause at the end to make sure we have all of your questions answered. As always, the first student athlete to ask a question tonight will Shell, are we letting them pick from the Shell cooler than Brian's prize bin this weekend? Is that the idea?
Yes, they can pick any prize they want out of my prize bin.
Okay, and just so everyone's aware, Shell stole all my good prizes out of my box. You are, in fact, getting the best stuff in the league if you pick out of Shell's box. But we're here to support student athletes. So, first student athlete ask question tonight, get something cool out of Shell's prize box. What I thought I would do before we get into the agenda, so to speak, is just give everyone a little bit of an idea of why we're going to, well, it's Garysburg, North Carolina, but just north of Roanoke Rapids to this place, which is essentially a car and motorcycle racetrack. Basically, Stephen Miller, who's on our timing team, last spring he races there. He told me, hey, you might want to go check that place out. It's got 20 plus miles of motocross trail in the woods out there. So I drove by in June of this year, stopped in, saw the venue owner, Sam. He will be there this weekend. And I met the trail boss, Rick Weatherald, former professional mountain bike racer, a former NICA coach from Utah, who has a physical therapy practice there in Roanoke Rapids. He rides those trails all the time on his mountain bike. He runs motocross races out there. He and I rode the trails, and there were a couple things that made this venue pretty attractive. One, it's a turnkey venue, meaning they do races there. They've got all the services lined up. We don't really need to spend much time on contracting those services individually. It's all right there. And then Rick, the trail boss and venue owner, are letting us do pretty much whatever we want to this trail system to create our race course. And so that's the idea of this weekend is the trail does require some work. It's motocross trails. And so we need to move some dirt. We need to probably blow stuff off again. And we are even considering bringing in a professional trail builder and spending some league money to make it just a really fun race course. So the idea here is, particularly for your student athletes, is you get to come in and work on and design a little bit. We'll make some decisions, I think, this weekend of which way this course goes, and then you get to come back and race it in the spring. So it's a pretty cool opportunity. This event very much has a trail work focus, but because we are mountain bikers, we'll get some riding in and some other fun things that the adventure committee has lined up for this event. So let me go ahead and share my screen and walk everyone through, the standard. How do you find the information you need for this event? So let's see. Here we go. All right. So as always, league website, come to the What's Happening tab up top, go down to the event schedule and scroll down until you find, here we are, our second preseason event, and click on the event flyer link. This gives you pretty much everything you need to know about the weekend, the schedule for sure, and we'll click on a couple of the links as we go through. One thing I'll mention right off the bat, and please pass to all of your student athletes, parents, whoever's coming for this weekend, is this NCCAR waiver. Every person that's coming onto the facility needs to sign this waiver. The gate attendant at the gate will check for that waiver as you come in. So if you have it filled out in advance, great. It's going to make your reception and entrance in the facility super easy. If not, that individual is going to make you fill out that waiver. And then when you present a signed waiver, you get a wristband for the weekend and keep that wristband. That is your way to get back onto the facility should you leave. So again, everyone got to put your name on that waiver, present that to the gate when you come in. You get a wristband, keep that wristband for the weekend. And I see Chris with either a raised hand or a high five.
It's a raised hand. So I tried to click on that waiver, and it comes up in Google Docs, and it has sort of a weird bit on the bottom that I have read this, I have read this, I have read this release. What do we just try to print this out and just sign it somewhere and send it in, or
Just have
is there a
everyone's
title? Is
name.
there a witness? So
Chris, have everyone's name and signature on that waiver
somewhere.
somewhere and hand it to the
Okay.
attendant. Yep. And they'll give you
Perfect.
a wristband.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. All right, let me go. If you click on this link right here, this will bring up the facility map. And let me give everyone kind of an overview of how to get there, and then a little bit of a venue overview. And some of the other staff members will talk about specifics as we go through. But like I said, just north of Roanoke Rapids, if you're coming across the river up I-95, get off on the next exit, come down by the big Lowe's distribution center. And then if you'll come to the front gate right here, this is where this NCCAR logo is. This is the entrance. This is the gated entrance where you're going to hand in that waiver and get your wristband. And then as you enter the facility, right here, as you come up the road, right to the left is the main parking area. If you've reserved an RV spot with power hookups, that's in the backside of this first gravel lot here. So parking is down here. You can continue if you're coming in Saturday morning. You can continue up this road, and we've got a pit zone drop off and turnaround right here in this purple box. This northern parking area, which is mainly grass, is our hub for the weekend. We'll call it our pit zone, where you can set up a team tent, you can set up whatever your team is bringing in. And then right to the right here, there's a small little building. This is where the league headquarters will be. This is where check-in will be, and the like. Let me go back to the event flyer there real quick and just tell everyone the importance of knowing what the gate hours are. So on Friday, campers, if you're coming in Friday night, the gate will be open with an attendant from 5 to 10 p.m. 10 p.m., that gate's closed and you're not getting in. So if you want to camp Friday night, you're coming in Friday night, you got to be there before 10 p.m. Otherwise, you're coming in Saturday morning. And then on Saturday, gates will be open from 8 until 4 p.m. Again, that attendant will be there. You can hand your waiver, get your wristband, or that attendant will check your wristband on Saturday. And then on Sunday, listed on here, gates will be open 8 to noon because we're only doing a half day on Sunday. So again, pay attention to the gate times. The only other way to get on the facility is by probably giving me a call, and I'm not staying on the facility this weekend. So pay attention to the gate times, and you can get in and out of the venue. All right. So back to the venue overview. For those that are doing the primitive camping, if you've signed up for one of those spots, continue up this road past the league headquarters, and there's a grass area just off the racetrack, and you set up right there. Right now, we have maybe 3 or 4 campers, so it's not going to be crowded. There's going to be plenty of space, but that's where the 2 areas are for this weekend. Okay, any questions about arrival? Any questions about the camping? Any questions about waivers and wristbands before we go through the schedule for Saturday?
Brian,
Yes.
so Saturday, if we're not staying on site, we have to be out of there by 4.
No, you can't enter after 4.
Oh, but
So
we can
leaving
stay
is
and
fine.
leave anytime.
Yeah, it's not like the Roach Motel, man. We'll let you leave. That's not a
Got
problem.
you.
Yeah, it's just
Cool.
there's someone to check the waiver and give you a wristband. That ends at 4.
Got you. That's all I was wondering. Cool. Thanks.
No problem. Okay. Well, hey, like we said, very much a trail work focus for this event. And we're going to start with that on Saturday. We're going to send folks out and work on specific sections of the trail that need a little bit of work. So let's go to Leonard to describe what's in store for trail work. And Leonard, just let me know if you want the map up to describe anything.
No, I don't think I need the map. First thing I'm going to say is dress in layers for Saturday because it's going to be cold, but doing trail work, we're going to heat up pretty quick and probably stay warm. We've got 6 or 7 spots we need to work on. I don't know if we'll get them all done this weekend, but we're going to try. I'm bringing tools for that, grubbers, McLeods, things like that. I'm bringing loppers, pruners, and leaf rakes. If y'all have any of those at home, that would help tremendously. We've got to do a lot of corridor clearing. We've even got a stump we got to dig out, so we should be fairly busy out there. We're going to try something different this time. We're going to stage the tools, and when we get the groups together to do trail care, we're going to ride to our work sites. So we're going to need bikes and helmets. That's about it. Just if you've got loppers, pruners, and leaf rakes you can bring, I would appreciate it. And we'll plan on riding to our work sites.
Anyone have any questions for Leonard on the trail work aspect of the event?
I would just add if you're going to bring your own tools, which is fantastic, just make sure that you mark them so that they're easy for you to identify afterwards.
Okay. And if you got questions about trail work the rest of the town hall, that's fine. Throw them in the chat or we'll catch them at the end. I will say about midday, everyone's thinking about lunch. We do not have a food truck for this event. So you're going to have to pack in what you want to eat or take a break, head out in town, grab something and come back. Obviously, if you have your wristband or that signed waiver. Yeah, there is a water source there, Chris. I'll go back to the map, and we specifically what's going to be open. We're not exactly sure. We got to scope this out when we get there Friday. But down to this main headquarters building, do you see that, Chris? There is a water source down there that the venue has let us use for water.
I don't see the map popping up.
I don't see that you're sharing.
No, I forgot that. Well, maybe I should share the screen before.
You can circle it all you want, but it's not going to work.
So there you go, that main headquarters building. So you come in past the gate, take a right before the first parking lot. There is water available at that headquarters building. Chris, does that cover it for you?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, not a problem.
Now you're on mute, Brian.
Just one of those nights my computer or me doesn't want to work. So had lunch about 1 o'clock. We're going to open the trail to riding. So you worked on it. You get to go ride it. Let me go back to the map and just give everyone, this is the draft idea of the race course. This will be pit zone, probably start and finish along here and somehow snake you around the field and into the woods, probably a clockwise direction along this orangish path right here is what that looks like. This section right here, these are some clay mounds. So this is like elevated terrain out here, and that's going to be pretty fun. There's some fun things we can do with the course through there, come back down and around. There's a little lake down here. We'll probably loop around, come back up, across the field, and then back into the pit zone. So we all got like 3.7 or so when we wrote it during the venue survey. But right now that's what the race course looks like, and we'll let folks ride that. Just coaches, remember your ratios. We're still working on the EAP. We'll have that done before the weekend. So make sure you got a copy of that. We'll link that into the flyer. But an opportunity to ride the race course, which is pretty cool. And then, like many of our activities, we'll have an adventure area open. And Bill, can you give everyone a description of what we're going to have available in the adventure area up in that main pit zone field?
Yeah, no, happy to. Yeah, as you alluded to, in that pit zone field, we'll also have adventure area, much like we do during the season event weekends. We'll have some of the equipment that you may have seen in previous years, the garage bunnies, where you can work on your manuals and bunny hops. We will have some of the equipment to make a um, obstacle course. So it'll be fun so that anyone who wants to check that out, if they're taking a break from riding the trails or off from riding the trails, we'll also have. I think I saw a listing of a raffle. I think the way to do a raffle would be to have fun that student athletes can do a challenge by choice. Either give yourself a challenge or give a teammate a challenge. And with using the equipment that's in the programs area, that'll enter you into the raffle, and we'll have some fun picking something out from there. I'm going to rely on Shell telling me what we can do in terms of raffles. So, but that was our plan in the programs area at Pit Zone. And I think I saw it. It was from 1 to 4, I believe, Brian, from what you had up on the schedule. Yeah.
You nailed it, Bill. Yeah, 4 o'clock, we will stand down from writing and activities, give everyone a chance, maybe go grab some dinner or bring it on site. But Shell, do you want to cover pizza party and movie night and some more stuff?
Sure. We're gonna have a pizza party, s'mores, and a movie night. And there's a link on the event flyer that student athletes can vote for the movie of their choice that they would like to watch. Most of them are video game themed to go with our level up theme for the season. And Turbo is also an option since we are at a race course. The S'mores will have everything you need for that. We'll also have a portable heater as well, correct, Brian? Make sure everybody's not freezing.
Yeah, we'll have one of those big work area heaters available all day Saturday, but certainly for movie night. It's kind of a warming area or maybe warming tent. We haven't quite figured that thing out, but yeah, we will have a heater out there for folks to come warm their hands around.
Yep. So movie night start at 6:30, and we'll wrap everything up by 9 o'clock that night.
Like my computer fails to work tonight. A couple more logistics issues. Porta Johns, we'll have 3 Porta Johns up in the main pit zone field. We will have 3 Porta Johns down in the parking area and camping area down here. In terms of trash, the venue will put some trash cans up here near pit zone, but the trash dumpsters are going to be located down here in this main parking area. So we'll ask everyone, just collect your trash, throw it in the dumpsters on your way out. It'll make our cleanup a lot easier at the end of the weekend. So that's Saturday night. Sunday, just like Leonard alluded to, there's a lot of work to be done out here. So we're going to give an opportunity for folks to hang around on Sunday and do a little more work on the trail. Leonard, any other details about Sunday morning you want to add or share with folks?
No, it depends solely on what we get done Saturday, other than dress in layers.
Okay.
We'll have tool staged at those work sites and ride to those as well.
Okay. Well, that's maybe a segue into the last topic we usually cover in these town halls, and that is the weather. And everyone's already aware it's going to be cold out there. We have saved and placed the riding in the afternoon to get it up over 40 degrees, which is basically our threshold here in North Carolina. And as Leonard said, for the trail work early in the morning, dress in layers, have a change of clothing. for when you're done, so you can get into something dry. And again, we'll have some warming options out there for folks to come warm hands and get warm back up before the next thing. So with that, we'll pause here and see if anyone else has any questions about Rake and Ride at the North Carolina Center for Automotive Research.
Got some questions in the chat. Ryder Bates asked if there's a flow course.
There's no flow course on the venue, depending what you mean by flow course.
Also, the same individual asked if there's any chance this will be canceled because of low temperatures.
I don't see a cancellation unless we see wet stuff come in, because cold and wet is absolutely miserable and is very dangerous. But right now, everything looks clear and dry on the forecast.
Sorry, I'm not answering these in the chat because I'm not typing it all out on my phone. But Gary asked if pit zone registration is required for parents and coaches. No, just student athletes, and they need to be practice ready in the pit zone to register. Coaches, just because it's early in the season, I recommend you double check that your coach license requirements are up to date. But other than that, you don't need to register unless you're a student athlete.
What everyone attending does need to do, though, is fill out that waiver so you can get in the facility. And the subsequent questions to that, yes, it will be a league staff member at the gate after 4 p.m. To make sure you have a wristband or sign a waiver to come back for movie night. And the question about gap between 4 and 6:30 is go warm up, go grab dinner if you don't want the pizza, to come back and watch a movie and the like. Was Ryder Bates a student athlete? Did we get our first student athlete question established for tonight?
I am not quite sure. But Ryder, if you
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yes.
He is. He just had to step out to go have dinner. So
Okay. Well, sounds like, is that our first student athlete question? I think it was.
Perfect. Ryder, if you come find me on Saturday, you can have your pick of the prizes.
Hey, Brian, Leonard, I have one question. On the Teen Trail Corps ambassador applications, are the kids that applied going to get some information on if they were picked, or when is that happening? Is that getting announced before the event this weekend? Just curious.
Angie, I think that'll be next week,
Okay, thanks, Leonard.
but we will notify them.
Okay.
Any other questions for the event this weekend?
I have a question about ratios and coach coverage. So do the ratios only apply to when we're going out for the trail ride? Otherwise, we're kind of just covering and having free range around the skills and adventure area.
So ratios are only applicable for riding on single track trail.
Great, thanks.
Sean, I knew that was right up your alley.
And while we're on the topic, if I can just remind everyone that the ride leader is the first person in the group. So there should be a coach at the head of every group on the trail.
Thank you, Sean. Any other questions before we end the recording? Because once we do, that's when the real questions come sometimes.
Just to be clear, too, ride leaders are 2s and 3s, just as per normal in the league. Yes. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Can the schedule be emailed out for the event?
You can click the link to the event flyer here and email that to anyone you want. It is linked in the Team Snap event, and it's linked on the website. What's Alex doing there lurking next to you there, Angie?
I have a quick question for
Alex, have a question?
She's waiting for the recording to end and she wants to talk to Sean. But she is lurking, you're right.
Well, I just saw that. That looks like Alex.
All right, so are we ready to end?
I think we're ready to end. So again, thank you everyone for dialing in tonight. Thank you for signing up to come out and rake and then ride. What's a pretty cool opportunity for this entire league. I've never had a venue owner tell me, do what you want. So here we go. That's a nice opportunity to come out and scrape out a race course for us. So thanks again, everyone, and looking forward to seeing everyone this weekend with your warm clothes and toe warmers and hand warmers and all that. We'll see you then.